Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're grabbing our virtual shovels and going on a digital excavation. We're going to dig deep into a typical hard drive to figure out the story that's hiding in all those files and apps. You know that feeling, right? One day, your computer is zippy and has tons of room, and the next, bam, you get that dreaded disk full warning. Where did it all go? It feels like it just vanished overnight. But don't worry, we're going to solve this mystery together. So let's just totally reframe this. Forget about just deleting stuff for a second. Let's become digital archaeologists. Seriously, think about it. Every piece of software, every hidden folder, it's an artifact. It tells a story about how you work, how you play, and how you live with this machine. Okay, so our first stop on this dig, we're going for the big stuff, the obvious stuff. We're looking for the colossal statues, the giant monoliths of your hard drive. These are the applications you already know are big, but you might be shocked by just how big they really are.
And here they are. No big surprise, right? The biggest space hogs are almost always modern games and those heavy-duty creative programs. I mean, look at The Sims 3. That's not just a game, it's practically a sprawling digital universe. And the Adobe Suite? Well, tools like Premiere Pro and After Effects are basically the bulldozers of the digital world.
And the scale here is just wild, 80 plus gigabytes. For one game. That's bigger than entire hard drives were not too long ago. And remember, that's not just the base game. That's every expansion, every little content pack, and years of custom stuff that turns it from a game into an absolute giant. So you might be asking, why are these programs so massive? Well, you have to look at where they came from. This comparison tells the whole story. Back in 1991, the very first version of Adobe Premiere was making these tiny little videos. I mean, 160 by 120 pixels? Fast forward to today, and that same program is juggling multiple streams of 4K video, complex special effects, and it's building up gigantic cache files just to keep up. The job it does now is on a completely different planet. All right, so we've found the big obvious artifacts. But, in any real dig, the most interesting discoveries are often the ones that are hidden. So let's go a layer deeper, because it's not just the giant apps themselves. It's all the digital dust and debris they leave behind. And here's the real kicker. The application you install, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Think about your web browser's cache, or every email attachment you've ever opened. What about all the leftover files from games you want installed from Steam ages ago? It all just sits there, and it adds up. These are the real ghosts in the machine, silently eating up gigabytes in the background.
This chart says it all, doesn't it? When you install something like Google Chrome, the actual program is that tiny little 5% slice. The other 95%, that's all you. It's your browsing history, your cookies, your saved images, all the data that makes your experience seamless. And believe me, over the years, that personal data footprint gets absolutely massive.
While we're digging around in the guts of our machines, here's a fun little piece of history for you. The reason we call a software problem a bug, it's because back in 1947, the legendary computer scientist Grace Hopper and her team found an actual moth stuck in a computer relay. No joke. They taped it right into their logbook and wrote, "First actual case of bug being found." It's a great reminder that investigating our tools has always been part of the deal.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem, we've unearthed the giants, and we've found the ghosts. Now comes the most important part of our dig, deciding what to keep and what to clear out. Let's talk about how you can become a pro curator of your own digital museum.
And I got a super simple framework for this. I call it the 3-second decision. It's easy. For every single application on your computer, you sort it into one of 3 buckets. Green light, is it essential? Yellow light, is it optional? And red light, is it just plain junk? The green list? This is the easy one. This is the stuff your computer literally cannot function without. We're talking core drivers, your security software, and the main tools you use for your job every single day. This is the foundation of your digital life. Hands off. Now, the yellow list. This is where you have to be really honest with yourself. This is where you become a true curator. I mean, do you really need 3 different versions of Photoshop installed? And what about that game you were obsessed with back in 2018 but haven't touched since? This category is all about your actual habits. Be ruthless. And now for my favorite part, the red list. This is so satisfying. This is all the low-hanging fruit. All that pre-installed bloatware from the manufacturer, gone. Weird feedback tools you never use? Gone. Redundant little apps that came with something else? Get them out of there. This is the digital clutter you can purge and feel great about. So after all that digging and curating, what are we left with? Well, it's more than just a clean hard drive. You've transformed it from a cluttered, messy attic into your own personal museum, a collection that truly reflects who you are and what you care about. And what you have on your computer is part of this incredible legacy. The whole journey started way back in 1948 with the very first stored program on a computer. Then came game changers like Photoshop in the 90s and browsers like Chrome that completely redefined the web. Every single app on your machine is a direct descendant of this amazing history. Your hard drive isn't just storage, it's a living archive of decades of human ingenuity. And that brings us to one last big idea to think about. As more and more of our tools and data shift from our local hard drives into the cloud, our role as digital archaeologists is changing. So I'll leave you with this question. In the future, when nothing is really on our computers anymore, what will be left for us to own, to explore, and to curate? What will our digital footprint even look like then?